Hey, what's up everybody? I wanted to run through a quick video. This is a comparison video, but it's not necessarily a competition video. Intended to be just some ideas and some comparisons on what you see before you. These two knives are flippers. They're not spring assisted, they're not switchblades. State that I live in does not allow any type of switchblades, any type of spring assisted knife, so I choose to carry a flipper knife. These are two that I have just recently gotten. Spent a few days with each one of them, carrying them, just kind of getting a feel, and I wanted to explain to you guys what my findings were. Maybe you'll find this helpful. First thing that I have here on the left hand side is the Kershaw Chill. On the right side, for comparison, is the CRKT Crossbones. Before going any further, I just want to let you know that both of these knives, I have taken them both apart. I have totally disassembled them. I've cleaned them. I've re-oiled them. My disclaimer here is, if you're going to do that, you do that at your own peril. You do it at your own risk. And please make sure that you know what you're doing if you're going to be taking a knife apart. Second disclaimer is, make sure that you know what you're doing if you're carrying a knife in your state, what the laws are for your particular state, whether or not you can carry open, concealed, spring assisted, flipper, folding knives, whatever it is. So, a couple things. I want to discuss the Kershaw first. Just going to go through the specs on both of them. Down below you're going to see the specs. They'll remain there through most of the video. I found that helpful in a video that I saw, so if anybody's kind of comparing these or is looking for one of these knives, the stats are right there. I'm going to go ahead and start with the Kershaw, as I mentioned. Discuss some price points too as we go along. My only objective here is just to compare the knives, but also to discuss some of what you get for the price point. So, overall length on the Chill when it's opened is 7.125. The blade length 3.125. The blade thickness 0.34. The handle itself 3.875. Very, very light, 2.2 ounces. Nice thing about this, and I'll mention that in some of the pros and cons, the clip, it can be carried tip up or tip down. The way I prefer to carry it is with tip down in this case. I'll explain a little bit later why I do that. Second is the CRKT Crossbones, also flipper. This is just a bit longer, 8.06 inches, 3.54 in terms of the blade length, 0.13 in terms of the thickness, 4.52 for the handle, 2.4 ounces. It is very light as well. Carry on this one, tip up only on that one. I'll discuss that a little bit later as well. So just giving you a comparison of what they look like side by side. They're both decent knives. They both are really good to carry. I really enjoy both of them. I do favor one over the other, and I'll explain why, but both are very, very good to carry. Okay, some of the nice things about the Kershaw Chill. It's a smooth, very, very buttery opening type knife. Very easy to flip. It's got a nice mechanism. I think this is brass washers and some nylon washers in there. You do have to make sure that you kind of do a little wrist action. At least on mine, you do. If you're carrying it, when you open it, if you're already pointed down, you'll get some gravity. I hit the wood there. You'll get some gravity that'll help you out. But otherwise, what I do on this one is I just give it a little flick with my wrist when I hit the flipper. That helps me open it. The blade shape, I really like the blade shape of this thing. It's a little meatier. It's a little tiny bit thicker. It feels very, very good in the hand. It's thin. Man, it's thin. It goes in your pocket. You don't even know it's there. It's got a great fit. It's compact, 2.4 ounces, 2.2 ounces, I'm sorry. The clip also is versatile. As I mentioned, the way I carry it is tip down. You can have the clip here, you can move it to the other side. Sorry, my lighting is not that great. I prefer to carry it with the tip down in this case, only because this gives me a little bit lower profile when it's in my pocket. Only about this portion will be showing. If I were to carry it and move the clip to this position, a little bit more actually shows, and it's not as comfortable for me to carry in my pocket with the tip up. That's just one of the weird things about it. If you happen to come across one of these, I generally I'm looking at prices anywhere from $15 to $25. I think I picked this up on Amazon for about 16 bucks. Very, very affordable. If you are going to pick one up, you'll notice that mine may have a little different finish. Again, when I took it apart, I polished the entire inside and out, as well as the rails when I did that. It normally comes with kind of like that matte finish. Let's move over to the CRKT Crossbones. Again, very nice flipper. This thing has a super action. It is just a little press and boom, it's out. You don't need to do the wrist. You can do it you know, down with gravity. You can have it face up. It will pop open. It just has a very good balance to this knife. It feels great in the hand. It feels great in the pocket. It's a very handsome looking knife too. I mean, it just has some really nice lines to it. It's also, with regard to the clip, one of the drawbacks is it's only tip up carry, but it's very low profile. Man, you put this thing in your pocket, only just the very top nub of that. You can also wear this maybe in some dress occasions if you know, not that you're going to be carrying a knife to, you know, going to church or whatever, but, you know, always be prepared. So this is a nice looking knife. It's very concealable if you want it to be. Now, one of the things about this, when I took it apart, this is a ball bearing system that it operates on, so you've got to be really careful. One suggestion: when you're pulling something apart, make sure you do this over a tray or a plate or something like that, that you can catch everything. When I took this guy apart and was oiling it and so forth, I lost this pivot screw. It bounced on my bench. God only knows where it went. I had to write Kershaw and get another one. But back to the CRKT Crossbones. It's a nice knife. It's a little bit longer, as you can see in the dimensions, and when I bring them back into the picture. Couple of the things. The chill is a little, I don't want to say sluggish, but it's a little bit harder to deploy. You know, you got to use that wrist action. The Crossbones does not need that. I already mentioned the finish to you, and I also mentioned the clip position. So it's kind of versatile with regard to that. The configuration of this, you know, the clip is only for tip-up carry. I saw on the website it also said that it's right-hand carry only. You know, if it's in your pocket, it'd be like that. I don't see why a lefty couldn't carry it like that. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. You just have to figure out, you know, how you want to flip it. Not that it matters, but I'll go ahead and tell you anyway. This Kershaw is actually made in China. It says it right there on the blade. Don't know if my light and camera will pick it up or not. The Crossbones is made in Taiwan. Again, don't know if that matters, but to some people it might. One of the things I was going to do on this thing really has some sweet lines, the CRKT. I was going to take this tip down a little bit. I really wasn't crazy about that in the beginning because I also carry the this little French-made Opinel. I've modified this. I've modified the handle. This had a very similar tip on it as did the Crossbones. What I did was I took a file here and I kind of contoured that down a little bit so it wasn't sloping up. That worked well for this knife, and I got that idea off of YouTube. So you know, this is not an original idea. you know, I burned this handle, I sanded it down, and I oiled it, so it's why it has kind of a custom look. I decided not to do that with the Crossbones because I actually really do like that tip on it, and my concern of taking some of that tip off possibly was changing the weight of this thing. This thing is so well balanced fitting in the hand. This has a pretty decent balance, and it's got a great index finger carve out there, so it feels very good as well. But the CRKT was actually my favorite in this. Again, this is a very friendly competition. They're both great knives. I did mention, but you can get the Crossbones from anywhere from about $45 to $75. Regularly, I think they go, you know, on Amazon anywhere from $50 to $65. I was fortunate. I found this thing brand new on eBay. Somebody, you know, I think it was a bidding situation, and it was one of those, you know, make an offer type deal, and they took it. So I got it for less than what the going rate is. But, you know, shop around. This kind of gives you an idea of how slender they both are. This one is a little bit longer. You really don't feel that much difference though in your pocket for the two knives. Folks, I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what you might want to invest in if your state doesn't allow certain things like mine does. These are great flipper knives. The Kershaw Chill and the CRKT Crossbones, both very good, viable options. Blades very sharp. I haven't really had them long enough to see how long the retention is on the edge, but you know, if it gets dull, sharpen your knife. Depending on what kind of system you use, this is the one that I use. It's got all kinds of different pads on it and strops and so forth. So use whatever you feel is comfortable for you in sharpening your knives. So hey, thanks a lot for watching. Sorry again for the quality of the video and the lighting, but hopefully this will give you an idea of what's out there for some very reasonably priced flipper knives.